Alrighty. In the midst of all the craziness, we have an opportunity now to be working with something super special. A little bit different to what we've been doing, but in a strange way, the same. Kind of focusing a lot on a couple of collections that we're working with, so we're trying to slot in other customers during the course of that sort of stuff to try and get everybody through the door while we can. And so an opportunity has presented itself and we're very, very happy to be part of this car. The car is for sale, so it's kind of one of those ones where we're doing a pre-sale cleanup. The car is in such good condition that it's not necessarily one that we would, I suppose, set and say, oh, this is X amount, how much it's going to be. It works out to be a really good example to show that, sometimes not everything is like a bulk pricing type deal. This is kind of one that you kind of will do by the hour. So we're going to work with this car pretty closely. I don't expect that we'll be spending too much time on it, and you're about to see why. I'd like to introduce you to the car that we're going to be working with at the moment, and that is a 1999 Honda Integra Type-R. So this particular car is in amazing condition, and I'm going to go out and say that it's probably the nicest condition Integra Type-R I've ever seen. So sometimes, there's a variance between, cars that might have lower Ks or cars that, might be a little bit newer with lesser Ks or whatever it may be. But sometimes you come across cars that are just being looked after in such a way that it's hard to believe the Ks that are on the cluster. Sometimes you see cars with low mileage and you go, well, that looks like it's gone through hell and back. Some higher mileage cars present better than lower mileage cars, and everybody knows that's no secret, but sometimes it's really, really outstanding when you come across a car like this particular Integra that is in such amazing condition. Now, it screams that early 2000s immediately I think Fast and Furious, as cringe as that might sound, it is one of those sort of cars that was, really, really, really celebrated in that era because of, the likes of the Fast and Furious franchise, Need for Speed Underground and all the rest of it. It kind of slots in perfectly into that sort of world. So we have been doing a lot of Australian stuff, and the reason that this has anything to do with what we've been doing, this is actually an Australian delivered one. So, many people will be able to spot that from the two round headlights, which are the Australian delivered style ones. It doesn't have that one piece headlight that the Japanese spec ones have. This particular one was a limited edition, so it had some dealer options. It has a front and rear bracing, so I suppose strut bracing on both sides. The extra stuff that all of the Type Rs have over the regular, say, VTIRs or all the other trims in the Integra lineup. I suppose the car is quite unique purely on the basis of the sort of condition that it's in. It's in that perfect championship white. All of the badges are in immaculate condition. All the paintwork is in immaculate condition, and the car has actually never gone under any paint correction or anything like that at all. It's just been preserved in such a way that it would make you believe so. So there's not even any excess wax in lights and stuff like that. It's just amazing to think that the car is in such good condition given its age and given its mileage as well. Now, normally you would find that cars that are above or anything above 100,000 Ks, they don't really present quite as well as it is. But honestly, given the kilometres and the condition of the seats and everything else in this car, I would even go out as far as to say that it would win awards at shows and stuff. We are going to spend a little bit of time underneath the car. It doesn't need a great deal of work underneath there. It's just, I suppose, years and years, say 20 years of road use and grime. The car's only done, say 3,000 Ks in the last maybe 4 years or whatever. So it hasn't done a huge amount of mileage. So underneath the car looks pretty straight. Everything is there, so all the factory exhaust, factory airbox, factory everything, which is amazing because most of these cars have at least got an exhaust or at least have an intake because people are looking for that sound that they get from that VTEC crossover. So absolutely standard, and it's almost like being stuck in a time machine because everything is in such good condition. And everything is so standard and it's so quiet. It's exactly how Honda intended. And if you know anything about the Type Rs, you know that they're more than just the red badge and red seats. Especially with the Integra Type-R, it was a very, very important car for Honda at the time. They made a lot of effort to make sure that it was going to be a high-performing sports car, irrespective of it being front-wheel drive. Honda had almost perfected that in this era. So I guess this is kind of that perfect mix of late 90s technology and simplicity, where later on obviously the DC5s and whatnot, whether or not they make more power or whatever they do, that is measurably better than this car, they don't have the simplicity. So from a bygone era, it's a super magical car. I wanted to show you guys, so I'll put together a quick bunch of B-roll and me having a quick yarn about it because I wanted you guys to have a look. But it is a beautiful car, and we're so thankful that we get the opportunity to work with stuff like this. So thanks again to all of our supporters and all of our customers that give us the opportunity to work on these beautiful cars. And thanks again for watching the video. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks.